last 24 hours. Powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, Parshas Mishputim, Chuf Dalet Shvat, Tuf Shim Pai Vuv on Edge. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm your host on Edge. It's February 11th, 2026, the Misburam. Now, there's a lot going on, you know? Even going down to Mamdani in New York City. Lots is going on. In Canada, Trump is fighting over a bridge with Canada. Yes. Now, MEMENTO is here for you when you make a Shabaton, a Simcha, care packages. They make care packages for your guest. You know, when you have a Simcha, you invite guests or Shabaton somewhere, you want your guests to have something nice to welcome them. So there's a care package made by MEMENTO. And also they make Mishloach Munason. Yes. Call them on 845-318-GIFT. If you don't know how to spell gift on the phone, it's 4438. Again, 845-318-4438. And you can email them on info@mementony.com. Let's jump into the news, okay? All right, international news. 10 people are dead after a horror shooting attack at a high school in British Columbia. Police say the gunman went into the Tumbler Ridge Secondary School just after classes started in the morning. Witnesses say he was carrying a long gun, a rifle, and wearing a tactical vest when he opened fire in the hallway. 6 victims were found dead inside the building. It's very sad, but police say the violence actually started earlier in the morning in a house. They discovered another 2 victims, his family members, at his home a few miles away. Investigators say the gunman killed his family before driving to the school. The shooter also died at the scene from a self-inflicted gun wound. This is a small town of only 2,000 people. 2,000 people live in that town. Tiny. The mayor says the community is destroyed. He says he knows every single victim personally. Does he know the gunman? I don't know. I didn't mention it in the news, but yes. A teenage Islamic terrorist is in custody after a stabbing attack at a school in London. Police say the 13-year-old boy pulled a knife yesterday at Kingsbury High School in Brent. He attacked 2 classmates, aged 12 and 13, right after lunchtime. He stabbed them both in the neck. Both victims are in serious condition at the hospital. Witnesses say the attacker screamed Allahu Akbar during the assault. Counter-terrorism police took over the case, and they arrested the boy for attempted murder. 55 people are safe, Baruch Hashem, after a plane crash in Mogadishu. If I pronounce it right. The flight took off from Adenade International Airport yesterday. It was a commercial plane carrying 55 passengers and crew members. Seconds after leaving the ground, the pilot reported a critical failure. Mayday, mayday. He tried to swing the plane back towards the runway, but he ran out of speed. The aircraft smashed into the ocean water right next to the airport fence. Photos show the fuselage broken into pieces in the water. The cockpit was twisted and the wing was snapped off. But in a massive miracle, every single person on board survived. They climbed out of the wreckage and walked through the water, the ocean, to safety. Russia is threatening to use military force over Greenland. Listen to this. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow will not accept new Western bases on the island. This comes after reports that US and NATO are planning to expand their military presence in Greenland. Lavrov warns that if they move more weapons or troops into the area, Russia will take, quote, military technical countermeasures. Here's that. He calls the Arctic a strategic zone that Russia must defend at all costs. He says the West is trying to surround Russia in the north, and they will not let this happen. Unbelievable. The whole world is watching the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. People are asking what happened to the 84-year-old grandmother. She was targeted and murdered. Now the questions are, was this a botched burglary? Nobody knows, right? Was it a kidnapping gone bad? Nobody knows. For more than 10 days, the police did not even have a suspect. Just yesterday, they released footage of a man approaching the door's camera, the Nest camera. They asked the public to help identify him. Then police detained a delivery driver named Carlos Palazuelos. They stopped him at gunpoint during a traffic stop. They handcuffed him and held him for hours, but late last night, they let him go. They filed no charges against him. Carlos Palazuelos, he's innocent. He says he may have delivered packages to her house in the past, but he never touched her. Reports say the Bitcoin account connected to the ransom notes that were requested, ransom, right, was active yesterday. Someone deposited $300 into that account. This happened right after the FBI released the video of a masked man tampering with Nancy's doorbell camera. A SWAT team and a bomb squad were deployed back at the house as the search continued. Now, for the first time since the 9/11 attack in 2001, the government has shut down almost all air traffic over a major American city for 10 straight days. All flights are banned over El Paso, Texas, and nearby Santa Teresa, New Mexico, until February 20th. They created a 10-mile bubble around the airport where no one can fly. No drones, no planes, no nothing, no helicopters. The order calls it National Defense Airspace. It says the closure is for special security reasons. They warn that violators could be intercepted, detained, or even face deadly force. Even the local army base at Fort Bliss was not warned in advance. Officials are refusing to explain why. They are not saying if there is a specific terror threat or a secret military operation. Let's talk about Iran. President Trump says he thinks the second round of US-Iran talks will take place next week. Either we will make a deal, or we will have to do something very tough, like last time. Reports say the US might send a second aircraft carrier to the region. This is a direct threat to Tehran. Right now, the USS Abraham Lincoln is the only carrier near Iran. It is patrolling the Arabian Sea and running drills with 10 other warships. The CENTCOM commander even visited the ship this week, together with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. The only other deployed carrier is the USS Gerald R. Ford, but it is busy in the Caribbean watching Venezuela. It has been at sea for 200 days straight and is costing American taxpayer money, a bunch of money. It's supposed to go home very soon. While diplomats talk, the regime in Tehran is showing exactly who they are. It is the anniversary of their revolution in 1979. And the streets are filled with hate. Mobs are burning American and Israeli flags. They are hanging pictures of President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu from nooses. They are even marching with fake coffins with American names, with American generals' names on them. Okay, let's talk about other news. Israel has upgraded its air defense shield. The Ministry of Defense just finished a major test of the David Sling system. This is the layer that sits between the Iron Dome and the Arrow missiles. Engineers used lessons from the war last year to improve the radar and the interceptors. They tested it against cruise missiles, rockets, and drones to make sure it can handle heavy attacks. Israel has officially invited President Trump to Jerusalem. The education minister wants President Trump to come to Israel to the Israeli prize ceremony on April 22nd. This is the most prestigious award in the Jewish state. If he accepts, he will be the first US president to ever participate in such an event. The invitation comes while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is actually in Washington right now today. He is currently in the American capital for critical meetings with Trump about the Iranian threat. This is already his fourth visit to America since the new administration of Trump took office. He is working closely with the Trump team to coordinate their next move against Tehran. And in other news, Bibi officially joined the Board of Peace, coordinated by Trump. Until now, he wasn't on the Board of Peace. We actually had a shmees with Shragi Stern from Politician Atitzen from the Kol Mevaser hotline. We had a shmees on Sunday night, so you could listen to it on my Spin the Edge on onedgenews.com. Just go onto onedgenews.com, look at the specials, have a look at the most recent one, you'll see. All right. Speaker Mike Johnson has suffered a humiliating defeat in the House. Now, with a very small majority, I would say, he tried to pass a rule to block any votes on President Trump's tariffs until July, but 3 Republicans turned against him. Representatives Thomas Macy, Kevin Kiley, and Don Bacon joined the Democrats to vote no. The final count was 217 to 214. The block failed. This means Democrats can now force a vote to kill tariffs as soon as this week. President Trump can still veto that decision, but his own party is now fighting him. This comes as a new report shows the average American The average American family paid an extra $1,000 last year because of these trade wars. President Trump is threatening to keep a major bridge between the US and Canada closed. He is talking about the new bridge that connects Detroit, Michigan to Windsor, Ontario. It is supposed to open this year, but Trump says he will block it. He says Canada has treated America unfairly on trade, so the US should own half the bridge, even though Canada paid for it. He says he will not let it open until the US is, quote, fully compensated. End quote. Meanwhile, top officials from the Department of Homeland Security were in Congress yesterday. They had to go through a hearing about the border. Congressmen questioned them about the strict new enforcement of immigration laws, and the DHS tried to defend their actions. Let's talk about the city of New York, shall we? Mayor Zaharan Mamdani has a new plan for the World Cup this summer. The massive soccer game tournament is coming to North America in June and in July. Yes, the final championship game will be held right here in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey on July 19th. Why is this news important? Because Mamdani wants to make every single bus in New York City free for 5 weeks during the game. He says it will help move the crowds and speed up travel. But Governor Hakol says the state has no extra money to pay for it. She warned that the MTA relies on fares to survive. Experts say the plan would cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Critics are asking why New York taxpayers should pay for the free rides. Another anti-Semitic attack happened in France. A 13-year-old Jewish boy was walking to shul Monday evening when 5 thugs surrounded him. They knocked him to the ground and punched him in the face. They held a knife to his neck while shouting anti-Jewish slurs. They robbed him and ran off. Police have arrested one suspect, an 18-year-old boy. The other 4 attackers were still on the loose. The S&P 500 is rising to record levels, while Dow Jones is up more than 200 points. Investors are reacting to the new jobs report that just came out this morning. Experts expect that the U.S. should add only 70,000 jobs in January. They expected the US to add only 70,000 jobs in January, but the real number was almost double that. The Labor Department says employers added 130,000 new jobs. The unemployment rate also dropped to 4.3%. President Trump is celebrating the news. He posted on Truth Social just a short while ago. He said, quote, in all caps, "Great jobs numbers, far greater than expected!" Exclamation mark. Now in small caps again. The United States of America should be paying, big caps, much less on its borrowings. We, small caps, are again the strongest country in the world and should therefore be paying the, big caps, lowest interest rates, small caps, by far. That's how he wrote it. Okay, let's talk about YS Capital Group. YS Capital Group is there for you when you need to borrow some money for a building that you want to invest in. The answer is yes, 718-831-2168. Protobite, 347-354-1237. Again, the number is 347-354-1237. What do? They build systems, quality systems for your business. Websites tied into it. Systems, custom-made systems. The most complex systems you can think of. Today, with AI and all that, Protobite is a memche when it comes to these things. A memche. Call them 347-354-1237. When you want to take a taxi, you always know Arrive Express is there for you. Is there at your door. Arrive Express. You just call 845-622-1111. Arrive Express. 845-254-1111 from Monroe. Arrive Express. My friends, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you again next time. Hatzlacha.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.